change in the way that they're drafting for OHEB, because even in their keys to victories, you got to look at OHEB to really carry the game, and for him to have an easier time, he needs to make sure he wins the lane. Sometimes that does mean you're going to delay your hero a little bit, potentially getting banned out in the later stage of the game, but at least you have the information to know what's going on. And in fact, looking at the draft right now, we talked about it in the pre-show where Blacklist International, they do the best as a second pick. So for right now, in the first pick, they don't have the necessary information of what Echo wants to do. So, you know, it's one of those things that we don't talk about so much, but as a team, not having their preferred, I would say, side to the pick and ban may actually hurt them as well.
And that's exactly what's very interesting here, right? Because Echo, they do better in the first pick position. Now they're actually popping off on the red side of the map, second pick. Meanwhile, for Blacklist, like you mentioned, they do enjoy being the second pick a bit more. We saw from the statistics earlier on, 72% win rate. But here, you can see the adjustment also made by Echo. In game number 1, they banned out the Estes in the second phase of draft. Now, they're prioritizing it here, but they're leaving out a hero. Open. Blacklist did this. They banned it. Fredrin.
And now, this just shows the priorities that Blacklist have. Being here in blue side, having that one pick is so powerful because you get to build the lineup around it. And the answer by Echo is a Farsa and a glue. The glue, more of a hero that we don't ever see. And given that the Fredrin was the focus for Blacklist, now Echo have, again, solid choices for drawing that box.
My question is, because they picking up the glue, are they like trying to bait Blacklist International picking up the Faramis, because the Faramis is one of the counters for glue, but it looks like they're not going to bite. They're just going to take the Valentina, and this shuts down a lot of playmaking ultimates, just like the Grok with his wild charge. But before we go even further, this is a quote by Tic Tac. Their chemistry is really solid since they've been together for a long time. It's so hard to cut them down. This is the hardest part in fighting Blacklist International.
And I completely agree, Coach Tick. They have been together even before they won the World Championship. Yep. And now a year has passed and they're still here. They're still making a claim for that trophy that we're all looking at the center of the stage. Going into the second phase, Echo bans out XP lane choices because, again, Sanford's happy with the glue. They go ahead and ban out the Lapu Lapu. I just gotta say, there's an odd absence of joy.
Yeah, the joy here not really going to be prioritized by any of the teams in the first phase. Heck, we might even, we might even actually see it ignored completely in the draft for game number 2. Joy is a bit of a gimmick hero. That's what I call her, right? Because it's all about just distracting the enemy team. Anyways, though, I do want to talk a little bit about this XP lane or just Blacklist International's draft, because in a lot of their drafts here, we usually see that Fredrin is used as a flex pick. Not for Blacklist, though. Every single time the Fredrin is picked up by Blacklist, well, not every single time, but 90% of the time, it's jungle, right? Yeah. They always want a playmaker on Edward. That's the reason you're still seeing that Lapu ban here, the respect being given out, and also the Claude ban. They want to get rid of a hero that can blink out of the Detonus Welcome, can blink out of the real pure engage from the glue, and even from the poke that's coming in from the Farsa.
But I still like the way that Blacklist are drafting, because we've discussed that the way that they're going to win is through OHEB as well as AdWords. So now that they've seen at least 80% of the draft coming in from Echo, now they should have enough information to really understand what kind of heroes they should get, because if OHEB and Edward loses lane, they're going to lose priority in the jungle or the riverside, and that's really going to impact how Blacklist plays. So this last 2 picks will really impact, because at least now they see the Brody. What do you want to use against the Brody?
They still need to put
Matrix?
Yes, but they also still need to put a hero on Agent Zero, and that might be the key. Benedetta's still open here, but it looks like Echo has an answer. Oh, nope, there you go. We mentioned the Joy.
And
they left it open.
It's the Franco from Yaoi too. I love it, right? Again, we mentioned about the Joy. More of a distraction than a prio pick, right?
Yes.
But it is a good pick here. Noticing that Blacklist International, they're going to have that backline really targeted down by Echo. So what the Joy is going to do here is to create space by being that annoying hero in the enemy backline. Thing is, though, Echo waited for this. They knew it was coming, right? It was either they went for a Kufra pick, a Cho pick, or they see the Joy, instantly they go for the Franco, they can lock the Joy down.
Yeah, but given that Cho is banned out, Echo had the ball in their court. It was their shot to make. You mentioned the Kufra. Yaoi had a lot of
crazy games on the Kufra.
Chance to play that, but instead they go for the Franco. You know, a game lost be damned, but we don't care about it going into the Valentina. We don't care if Haji gets it. And looking at it, is it going to the hands of Valentina? Yes, of course, yes, Haji, because again, there's a Fredrin. That's definitely Wise's hero.
Yeah, I'm just going to say we're going into game number 2. Blacklist International going up against Echo. And what I wanted to say was that Echo picked up the most banned hero of Blacklist International. They keep banning out this Franco. So now Franco in the hands of Echo. This might be a bad game for Blacklist.
Yep, and the reason why is because it breaks the Ube. You don't get to engage on your terms. And in the hands of the playmaker, Yaoi, it's going to be a great way to, again, either set up a box that Blacklist is not comfortable with or break whatever Blacklist is trying to do.
And this is a similar approach to, again, what RRQ did against Echo yesterday, right? They picked up that Franco, but unfortunately for RRQ, they didn't have anything to build around the Franco. Meanwhile here, I was questioning the Brody pick earlier on. I was like, what? Brody into Lolita? Then you see the Franco and you're like, there you go. That's what it was for. You hook the opponent away, and what's the Lolita gonna do, right? Sure, she can actually jump in, flicker maybe to get that shielding down, but it's a bit too risky. And if Venus is on the receiving end of the hook, it's gonna be a lot to deal with here. And Venus right now is gonna be caught. Yaoi gonna throw the iron hook. Good dodge by Venus.
Yeah, looking at this game, Blacklist International, I would say after the group stages, this Franco is a nightmare for them because it is the reason why they've lost. So now we got to see their evolved form. Have they been able to find a way to fight against this Franco? Right now, looking at the lanes, not a lot is going on. Wise goes down to fight against Sanford, but I don't think they can secure a kill here.
Too sustainable, gets out of that one. Wise is level 4, Carl TZ as well. Both of these junglers clearing very, very fast. In the end, it's Haji who actually steals the gold buff away.
Yep, looking at a potential 3v3, 4v4 down bottom as they both jockey for position, finding a good pull for this Lord. And it looks like Echo is the one first on the scene. Carl TZ whacking away. Oh, there's a ult!
Yeah, Sanford zoning very, very well here with the split as well. Bringing Wise away. Numenor Blast gonna be charged in. On to Carl TZ, but no! It's Yaoi who finds the iron hook and Carl TZ finds the retribution. Edward on the back line. That's a stolen for the airstrike as the Bloody Hunt comes down onto Edward to lock him down. Sanford finding Wise, the flicker over. Edward picking up another. It's a 2-for-1 right now. Echo still equal though in terms of the trade because they secured the turtle.
I like how Blacklist played that fight just now because even though they were focusing on the turtle, they kind of understood that it's not 100%. It's not even 50-50. It was kind of a 60-40 at that point. So they tried to find the alternate win condition around the turtle, which is try to get a little bit more kills. So they were willing to expand a lot of their resources there. Looking at the items right now, really not a lot of power spikes just yet. The Beatrix here, piloted by OHEB, understands that there is a chance he's going to get attacked, and right now, Carl TZ is getting attacked.
He is the frontliner though, so he's happy taking that damage in. Haji is going to be the one losing a whole lot of HP from Sanji. Venus does too, and now that mid control is for Echo.
And you're seeing here the difference between Haji and Sanji, a Valentina and a Farsa. It seems like now, when the ult is ready on Sanji, he's just willing to pull it out and then force Haji to respond. It's all about timing. It's all about engagement.
Oh.
And Yaoi, did he do it? No, the Filipino sniper still confirms the gold crab.
That was an insane calculation, man. An insane micro play by OHEB, right? He knows exactly how it was going to go down. Even with the snipes there.
I got to say, in my head, he was holding his breath and like,
yeah.
1, 2, pump, just get it. And I just want to touch a little bit about the emblems because in terms of scaling, I kind of feel like Blacklist, they have an advantage because OHEB is using a marksman emblem compared to Benecutie using the assassin emblem. He's going to have a lot of damage, but still, in terms of scaling, Blacklist, they have it in the bag, and now looks like Echo, they're just going to push Blacklist away. Don't push too hard.
Oh, not an engagement that Echo wants to go for because, again, they spent a few ults there. Mind you, Yaoi still has the Bloody Hunt, still has a hook waiting on him. Benecutie as well, torn apart memory, goes for a pull. Numenor Blast charged up by the Queen. That is welcomed by Carl TZ.
And Carl TZ is going to be able to spin him out. That's a Bloody Hunt locking Edward down. Edward taking low, but still able to survive for now. Torn apart memory can be popped in as Benny flickers forward to pick up the kill. Turtle over to Blacklist right now. And Sanford jumps in with Swift Split, bringing Venus back for the damage to come through once again. Sanji picking up. Yaoi almost finding the Iron Hook. That's demobilized. Haji pours the Flicker out, and Echo will be able to take the better trade.
2-0. Turtle goes over to Blacklist, though, as well. It's actually Echo who took it. Wow, clear win now for the Orcas.
Yeah, clear win because they have a lot of bursts in the early stages of the game because Wise being in the front line, he can CC them for a bit, and Oheb, that was lucky that he did not get hooked, and so far Oheb will be fine. Looking at the items, clear power spikes right now. Looking at Edward, he's not going to be tanking a lot, but he can deal a lot of damage because of the Genius Wand, so as long as he can prolong the fight, he can really help himself out, as well as Haji. Speaking of which, Haji is using a skill kind of itemization, so he's not going to be too strong right now, but I would say in 8 minutes, he's really gonna power through Echo.
Yeah, and honestly, I do really want to talk about how Blacklist International are negating the bully potential from the Brody, right? Because earlier we saw the lane frozen by Benny QT in that lane. Wise instantly stopped by into the gold lane, even risking his life just to help Oheb clear it out. And this is what's gonna get Blacklist to that item power spike for Oheb in the gold lane. The Beatrix has been farming very well, considering that he is in the losing matchup up against that Brody.
Yep, and we're just waiting for that to flourish. We're just waiting for that to get the payoff. Bottom lane, though, you see the XP laner just leaving constantly. Very good wave clear from both the Joy and the Blue. Oh, the pull on Wise!
The Iron Hook, and that's gonna be the Bloody Hunt. Chain in, but that's just welcome as Edward jumps in with a lot of damage coming down. Sanji with the wings by wings, getting out. Numenor blast, and for the airstrike stolen away by Haji with the IMU. Bennett's Rage, able to find the kill onto Sanford. Carl TZ gonna be gunned down. That's the Iron Hook to provide the peel necessary for Carl TZ. It's a 1-for-1. The XP lane traded in for the jungler.
Wait, look at Benny Cutie, Benny Cutie.
Oh, watch out, Benny from the back line. Oheb hasn't spotted him yet. We're going for the turtle. There's the pull. Yaoi as well. Look at this. Prime positioning from the Echo squad. Oh, he's revealed. There's the hook.
Yaoi missed it. Gonna be stunned up. Venus actually onto the turtle. Carl TZ with a quarter of his HP bar. Oh, that's the feather airstrike prematurely popped in. Sanji's gonna be zoned away now, but Benny, again, this is the man that we're gonna be looking at. Wise, gonna be hooked down. That's the moment for Benny to jump in. That's the damage coming through the turtle memory as well. To take the turtle and to take Oheb. Girl TZ with a deathless welcome. Not gonna be able to find it just yet. Sanford onto Venus, bringing him back. Numenor blast to be popped in, but it's not gonna be able to get charged all the way. Edward, stunned up, suppressed. Bloody Hunt popped in. Yaoi gonna fall to the hands of Edward as Sanford still wants to keep on going. Sanji rotating back into the mid lane. Wise is gonna be brought back. It's a pause here in the 7th minute of the game.
Messy engagement, and the payoff was just about to come up. Benny Cutie able to hide in that bush, put a few marks on several members of Blacklist International, plus on the turtle, which allows Echo to pummel on through forward, but you can't discount the fact that Blacklist played that very well as well.
Yeah, Blacklist played it very well, but again, Benny Cutie just understanding the situation, not understanding like just his hero, just Blacklist hero, but he's like, okay. Because I kind of feel like a lot of people looking at that situation, Oheb was kind of isolated by his team. It was prime position to just stun him up, get some stacks in, and then just kill him off just like that. But he's like, no, I'm going to wait, SA. I'm going to make sure everyone is close enough. He gets into turret range. He can get stacks onto a lot of people and get maximum value from his ult. And that's what he did. He got maximum value from his ult.
And again, there's a very thin line between, I guess, a mistake and being loco, right?
That was pretty loco.
We were so close for it to being a mistake, but the fact that Benny's still alive now, at the cost of Carl TZ's life, it allowed for it to be loco.
And it comes down to trigger discipline, right? The fact that he was in the bush for so long, even Yaoi is spotted, and he still stuck. He was like,
and
okay,
no one checked the bush
I'm
as well.
committing, bro. I'm committing. And he committed, right? Because Yaoi was spawned out already, they were like, no way. There's no way a Brody is waiting in that bush.
Yep.
It turns out, that's how Benny plays, buddy.
No way a marksman will flank, right? I mean, that's like an assassin kind of thing.
Yeah, Benny's an assassin sometimes. You can kind of say he's an assassin because of the way he plays these marksmen. He flickers forward, he looks for flanks, and here, we're going to see the player head-to-head.
Never let them know your next move. That's what Benny did. Never let them know your next move.
And that's what makes him a force of nature. That's what makes him the storm. He just comes up. And here, leading these two players, the gold laners, are these roamers, all right? Yawi, the playmaker, and his idol, Momshu, oh my Venus. Again, they're two different kinds of roamers, two different kind of team captains, but the way that they lead their teams are just perfect for their playstyle.
We've seen it, right? Again, Yawi with more flashy heroes, but for Venus, it's time to enable, but here we're gonna be put in right into the team fight. Echo with, actually it's pretty good trade now that I see it for Blacklist.
Benny
Not
died.
that bad.
Yeah.
Benny actually fell, but the airstrike though from Sanji in the mid lane, making it in favor of Echo.
All right, something transpired in between the time we resumed and paused in, but for now, real quick, folks, Blacklist forcing out a push up top. Buff still secured per side, and we're looking at a possible kill on Edward.
Nope. That's Edward for you. Gets out in relative ease again, right? Echo trying pressure, but now it's just for Blacklist International to punish in the goal, well, in the other side of the map, which is going to be the XP lane. They even tried to deny as much as possible from Benny, forced to use a torn apart memory to get those last hits.
This is the world stage, so I'm allowed to be a little bit more critical looking at the way that the game is transpiring. Oh,
We just spoke about this, Yawi versus Venus, and Yawi is going to be able to find that Iron Hook. Connecting onto Wise, bringing it back under the tier 1, and that's everyone collapsing. Benny with a torn apart memory back up on that cooldown is going to be able to secure it for the edge right now on to Haji and Oheb. Haji going to be stunned up, has the feather airstrike, but both teams disengage.
King and the Queen in a flash goes out. I mean, Edward able to make the most of a bad situation, but LaFell, what does this mean?
First of all, I just want to say I'm so glad I was interrupted because I was about to say Blacklist was actually looking pretty good because Oheb is going to scale up and Yawi's not hitting the hooks, but never mind. Yawi got a very crucial hook, and the thing is, this is the time where Benny Cutie, I would say, is almost at his max because he already has his Blade of Despair as well as the Fury Hammer. Enough penetration, enough raw damage. This is the time you force the fight. This is not about waiting. If you see an opportunity, just go for it.
And it looks like Blacklist has already found their window. Haji pulling out Sanford, Carl Teasy losing the pull battle against Wise. Blacklist have a small favorable position over the Lord. It's closer to the south, closer to Wise. They spot on my Venus. Yawi throws out a hook. And now the Lord dance continues.
It's a very slow Lord dance. It's a macro-centric play here. Mid-control. Steve fought for, and that's concealed though. Yeah, we're gonna be able to find Haji Bloody Hunt as well. That's the damage coming through, and a turn apart memory finds its mark. The Venom Rage to follow it through. Yeah, we're gonna be taken down. Sanford jumps in with split. Venus putting them on blast, stunning him up right now. Skull Teasy gonna be taunted up. Kind of airstrike to the back line. Oh, it's gonna be bomb caught. Wise now with the Appraiser's Wrath. Still able to sustain for a bit as Sanford still on that split. Jumps back away. Venus taken low. That's gonna be Benny dealing out of damage. Now with the turn apart memory. Benny QT with a flicker forward again. Styling on Blacklist International.
That team fight could not have been better for Echo. 4 down, no clap back from Blacklist, and Echo now making a beeline straight for this Elemental Lord.
Okay, now Edward coming in, not going to be able to steal. But yeah, in this game, objectives are important. And Sanford, he's going to get chased. Will he actually get down? Yawi stops the progression of Edward. And as I'm saying, objectives are very important, but it doesn't have to be the turrets. It doesn't have to be the Lord kills are objectives as well. And again, Echo, their draft, they have a lot of big potential. So they're really using their draft to the finest. I like the way that they approached it. Don't fight the Lord. Kill them first.
And they did. They found bodies, pushed them all the way behind tier 2 down bottom. And it's putting on my Venus, who just hit the ranked first one, average assist, 10.4 per game here in M4, into a weird position. When do I use Numenor Blast? When do I protect my teammates? When do I find a proactive spot, a window for us to clap back? And it's looking harder and harder by the minute. Echo pushes mid tier 1, and now they're threatening tier 2 as well. Watch Sanji, he's concealed.
Yeah, and he pops in the feather airstrike, zoning Oheb away as Edward jumps in closer. Sanji with wings by wings, getting out. Feather airstrike being popped, Sanji flickers out. Call TZ. Finding the death that is welcome onto Wise, gonna be stunned up again. No, now blast all from Venus out of nowhere. Sanford still in the front lines. Benny QT dealing damage right now. Edward's gonna be able to jump into the back line, but the Bloody Hunt catches Edward. And a torn apart memory silences him, takes him down. Sanji with wings by wings. Oheb gonna be taken low, forced to flick around by Yowie. And Sanford flickered forward. Now, Echo still on the march with another airstrike taking Venus down. Haji is all alone, terrifying Yowie. Still able to survive with the Iron Hook. Connects again, and Echo have wiped out Blacklist International. They're looking for the end. No minions on the board. They're forced to back away.
5 for 1 plus 2 major objectives pushed in by the Orcas. This is both discipline and ruthlessness. LaFell, where'd they pull this from?
First of all, I gotta say, there's a reason why Franco is the most banned hero for Blacklist International. I kind of feel like going to the next game, it has to be put into contention. Now, Blacklist, how this really happens is because Echo always finds a way to actually dish out damage onto Oheb, because every single fight, look at where Oheb is positioning. It's not that his positioning bad, it's just that he has to constantly run away. He has to run away from Benny Cutie. He has to run away from Sanji, from Sanford, from Yowie. There's so many ways he can get caught, and it's so hard to micromanage all of it, especially when Echo, the way that they attack, sometimes Oheb doesn't see it coming.
It sounds like Blacklist has been overloaded by Burst and also a good amount of CC. And those two things are lethal against a lineup like Blacklist, against the Ube strat. And they just can't pull it off here as Benny Cutie forces a push up top. And that's a clean tier 2 tower take, gonna help open up this Luminous Lord for Echo. Now 8K ahead at 13 minutes.
That's insane. And on top of that, Benny's on a hero like the Brody, who snowballs like an absolute monster. And you can see here, this is the play by Blacklist International. They still want to contest. Lord taken to half HP. Carl TZ still on it. This is the Lord dance. At the mid lane, pressure will be popped in from Echo. 8,000 gold lead. The airstrike will be popped in. The zone, other members away. Carl TZ with that as well, combining in. Haji stealing. For the airstrike again. The Predator straight into the middle blast. Why steals it away? Yowie got the Bloody Hunt, but it's all for them. Sanford's all alone. Yowie's gonna be gunned down. But Benny QT again with the back door.
Damn you, Benny! Debut on the world stage! He takes game 2 away from Blacklist International!
I just gotta say, man, the way this set up, the entire map, they're setting up for a checkmate. And then Benny Cutie is like, I don't care about pawns, I don't even care about queen. I'm going for the king. And that is the crystal there right now. 2-0 Echo over Blacklist International.
What is this man made of? Oh my god, how many times has he found this play?
The storm, the typhoon, the hurricane, Bagyong Benny, born and bred to split lanes and take games.
Wow.
The shot calling, though, that was needed to make that play happen.
I mean, again, it looks like Echo is not just they understand the draft, they just understand Blacklist in general. You guys want to clump up together, go ahead. Hey, we're going to take the Lord. You're going to contest for it, right? Well, go ahead. We're going to split push. I think this is just critical understanding of what Blacklist is going to do before Blacklist even does it. Because, again, throughout the game, they're still winning the lanes. And look at how they're rotating around the map. Because, okay, I'm not the analyst here. I mean, I'm analyst on the desk, but not on the stand. But look at how when the Lord was being pushed, Sanford, he could have pushed as well, but he avoided it. He went straight to the Lord, and he didn't care about the Lord. He didn't care about the jungler. No. He just went straight to Oheb, and he doesn't care. I just want to slow down Oheb. And then because of that, everyone was focused. We got to take care of Oheb. Now that they're taking care of Oheb, wait, Benny Cutie.
Yeah, it's sensory overload, and it came down to the fact that Blacklist could not respond, and that's how Echo took game number 2. More on that in just a bit. We'd like to remind everyone and give a special shout out to Secret Lab, the official gaming chair partner of M4. We're talking about a built-in lumbar support system that you can adjust to your spine, an incredible magnetic memory foam head pillow, and brand new fabrics in all sorts of colors and designs. The Secret Lab Titan Evo 2022 gaming chair is designed to keep everyone seated in incredible comfort for a long time. I'm talking about a best of 7 that goes all the way. In the MPL Philippines Grand Finals in Season 10, they went to Game 6, and boy oh boy, was I ready for more. And here tonight, I hope everyone is. But it looks like Echo are thinking something else. They're going fast here. They're going way too fast for the world champions to respond. But with that being said, on behalf of Miracle and LaFell, we're going to throw it over to the analysts.
Thanks, Leo. But today we are seeing a team that has perfected a technique. Science plus violence. Get out of the way, Hurricane Katrina, because Benny QT is going after your homes. They're going after your base. Welcome back to the Analyst Stand. My name is Giggling Q. This is going to be Assassin Dave as well as Wolf here to break it down for you one more time. This is an outstanding performance coming out from Echo.
There are a few things I want to mention. Number one, momentum going towards Echo. Number two, the name of the game is Sanford and Benny QT, right? Those two were popping off in that game. I mean, like, Sanford was literally 1v4ing with the glue. He's the monster, aka glue monster. I mean, like, what can Blacklist do at this point?
You know, they have to stop the momentum of Echo for sure, but it's like the opposite way around. Blacklist want to play their own brand of the game, their own code, right? And we saw that in back-to-back games. They know how to operate, they know these heroes, the ins and outs of the Ube strategy that they're trying to employ against Echo, but it's just that Echo is just stopping them on their tracks. I think that the reason why Blacklist are losing back-to-back games is because they kept on playing the same game.
Here's the thing, right? In the background, when we were talking and discussing about this draft, something about Echo that really stands out is the fact that, you know, they're not tunnel visioning anymore. They're not playing hyper defensively. They have playmaking capabilities.
Absolutely, and let's take a look at the item, right? Benny QT with 10,000 gold, closer to 11,000 gold, A1-1. In fact, everybody's KDA on the carry position, right? 5-1-11 on Sanford, 5-0-8 on Sunji. All these carry positions are absolutely dominating. Now, I'm interested to find out the MVP later on once we get there, because I think even though we got so much farm, so much resource to Benny, it's actually Sanford who set up the play for the teammates.
Okay, now we're going to be jumping over to the post stats here, and I'm really interested to see the overall team fight participation.
Ooh.
Edward having 100%, but the control from Echo. Like, imagine Edward being part of every single one of these fights, and yet Echo, not one of them, not even 100%. They are dividing and conquering so well.
Yeah, you know, you're talking about how Sanford was instrumental in this, playmaking potential, right, from coming up from Gideon. Totally agree with you guys, because I think that Echo, their shot selection in this game, particularly in internal fights, was amazing, was on point. Sanford knows who to jump onto. Even he chooses sometimes Oh My Venus, sometimes it's going to be Wise. It depends on the situation, what the situation calls for, so that Echo will win those turtle fights. Then, when it comes to those crucial moments, where there's like a 50-50 or even like the odds are in their favor, they utilize the spacing coming out from Yahweh's Franco, and of course, Galti's Daytona's. Welcome to this place, Blacklist International, for them to not get into their bubble.
Absolutely, right? Sanford on the glue monster was insane. He has pinpoint accuracy. You're absolutely on point on that. He knows exactly which person to carry away, right? In objective, in turtle fights, and also in lore fights. Sometimes to get to the back line. I remember this one time when Benny Kuti flickered in for the ultimate for a 200-part memory, get a double kill, and that was all set up by Sanford.
Yeah.
He was literally 1v4ing, taking all the damage and staying alive.
Personally, for me, I don't know what the communications coming in from Echo is going to sound like, but I can't wait for them to drop it. But let's have a look at the MVP of this game, Benny QT. Domination, and more importantly, nobody escapes this hurricane.
And I think that it is now safe for me to say, for all over the world, that he is now the holder of the gold standard, gold lane standard. The way he positions himself is amazing to look at. It's textbook, right? If you want to learn how to utilize and position a marksman, do look at Benny QT's games because of how he's able to just win the matchups in the laning stage. Eventually, team fights, his timing with the flicker and the ultimate was phenomenal.
Yeah, and one thing I want to point out about Benny in this game, he put out the very characteristic and very special Echo-style split push, right? The marksman split push in the late game.
Right.
Just when you think, okay, the Brody has to be in the team fight. I mean, there's a marksman, there's the most damage source, he got the most farm, he has to be here. And the next thing you know, your base is gone. This guy has 45% kill participation only, and yet he's the win condition, right, for the team.
All right, let's sniff out a little bit of how Benny QT actually plays the way he does, how he positions himself with the heat map from 5 to 10 minutes here. He's supposed to be the cleanup crew for the rest of the squad. Walk me through this here.
All right, so he started with the top lane, right? But at 5 minutes, where the turtle is gonna respond, a second turtle of the game, he was there. Look at him. Look at that bush. That this between the purple buff and the turtle. He stayed for that for a long time, then found an opening during the turtle fight, take out OHIP. That was a great play. Look back at that play. Afterwards, though, he went to the XP lane. He knows that the golden is already done for. All they need to do is to get more influence in the other part of the map so that they can set up for the next turtle.
I mean, so far this game has been looking super dominating here, and if we look at the MVP highlights overall,
Look at that play.
when does Blacklist actually, try and come back to me if you were in their position?
Benny QT he's like assassin marksman player.
Yeah.
You know, like he's always behind you on the side of you. Oh, this is a beautiful play by the entire side of Echo. He started off with a hook flicker from Yaoi, and then an ultimate, beautiful ultimate from Faraz the Dinosaur. It just shut down the V-Vice combo, right, from the side of Blacklist. And take a look at the bottom side. This is where Sanford set up the play. And Benny QT flickered and finished off the kill, the executioner. I want to see the split push in the end. I think that highlight was just so good. How does this guy just quietly and sneakily go into your base and take everything?
Well, I think a lot of it has to do with just the way he kind of positions himself, and more importantly so, Echo has a huge priority on where Haji is. They expect Wise to be in a certain position. They expect OHEB and Venus to be in another position, but more importantly,